came from a very harsh upbringing. It was nothing for me to have stuff winging out my head. The crap beat out of me. I was living in the Van Buren shelter. I woke up one morning and realized that I was actually looking around for a knife.
My mom, she did the best that she could to provide for me and my family, and she eventually had lost us to the foster care system. I had 3 friends commit suicide, and at that time, suicide was very big in my community.
I had a fire at my apartment. I was in a state of homelessness. I did not dare to go in the shelter because of the virus scare, dealing with depression and other avenues and chemical dependency. I was in a very depressive state. I had a notion of taking my own life.
Well, I personally knew I had issues even as a kid, but I think everybody has moments in their life where they walk into a crowd or a group and they just feel different, and it would like drive me insane. It would mentally exhaust me, you know. And so you can combine that with just being a hyper child, you know. At that, it was a recipe for disaster.
My wife passed. High school love, 44 years. Usually when she goes to the hospital, she comes back home. She didn't come back home, and I lost it. I was contemplating suicide.
When I turned 18, out of the system, when you're 18, it's over. When you're 18, you don't have a lot of help, you don't have a lot of resources. So to go through the different things that I had went through was crazy. 2 friends that already died of suicide, and I was almost to I was tired. I was actually just going through so many things, and I had wound up getting into Netcare.
I was on my way to go to Cincinnati. I was just going to up and move. I do that all the time. But I went downtown to the Greyhound station, and I was already depressed and suffering from anxiety again. And all these people are looking at me, so I just leave. And so as I'm walking, I end up by the Scioto Mile. That's where I attempted a suicide attempt before. In the middle of January, February, I jumped in the river, and I kind of scared myself. So I just started walking, and I ended up calling my case manager. She was like, maybe you should try Netcare.
So I came to Netcare, and I was a real mess when I came in. A real mess. I was withdrawn. I didn't want to speak, but they just kept at me. Then I started coming out. So I stayed there for 3 days, and then I went to CSU, and they took the panic down. You know, it was very comforting. And then they gave me extended care, and I came to Miles' house.
I was still homeless when I was released. And I was offered to stay at the Miles house, which is a transitional housing.
I was nervous and anxious, new environment, people I don't know, having to live in a house full with people I didn't know. That went away within 10 minutes.
This opened me up to sharing the things that was troubling me.
They're very personable. They shared their experiences as well, which makes you automatically comfortable.
That encouraged me, you know, to move on and better myself.
Life is, pretty much, it's been good. You know, I got a good job. I forge ties with my family, more often. So I go down there often, taking my nephews fishing. Now when things happen, I don't let frustration carry over. I stay busy. I try to avoid things that I know are triggers. Entrepreneurship gives me a chance that kind of plays into my personality as a person who wants to be competitive. And so I'm working 7 days a week, doing the window washing on the side, and they're referring people. So I'm constantly hoping I can gravitate toward that.
What's driving me now is my future. I am excited for where I might end up in the next 5 years. I had wound up working with, again, at-risk youth and being around kids who look like me and who have been through different things and trauma. I think that it's a generation that's coming after me who gonna need somebody to say, hey, if she did it, then I could do it too. I want other young ladies to speak out about their abuse and say, hey, it's not okay. And to always remember, it's not what you're going through, it's where you're going to.
After leaving the Miles house, I finally got my permanent spot, which is always a blessing. I did stumble a little bit and went my old ways of chemical dependence and alcohol. I'm known as a legend in Short North District as an artist, and I'm very proud of that. At the time I do my art, it gets my mind to be creative in my own world, and it blocks out the negativity.
The tools that they gave me when I left, the tools that they taught me here, I still have my notes. I go through them. I call periodically, or they'll call me. I would like to give back what Netcare Miles House gave me in some type of way.
I was sent over to the Bridges for Success and shared living. I'm still there. I've only been there a couple of days. So from that place, I will be able to get my own apartment. I've got people to support me now. I have a son that's 30 years old. I've got 2 great, awesome, honorary grandchildren. And that keeps me going as well.
It's so dangerous not to pay attention to your mental health. You don't have enough courage to say, hey, I need help. It could hurt you and everyone else around you. It could be very dangerous.
We all need support from each other, encouragement, inspiration.
There's no telling who else could probably be a victim of something, of rage, of anger, or anything. The consequences for society are great.
We need an outlet, places where you can talk and feel free to say, hey, I'm going through this, and not to be judged by it.
Netcare is definitely important to those in need.
I'll try to keep this answer short, because there's millions of reasons why.
If they took this away, things would get out of hand. I wouldn't be here.
It doesn't matter what your issue is. They are capable of helping you.
You need someone to talk to. I do encourage anybody to call Netcare.
If they get to the facility, they're going to get some help, and that's rare in life, because you don't get guaranteed.
Everyone should have some place like this to go to. There needs to be more of these. Absolutely.
Places like this are indispensable. I mean, not only for me, but for the people who are there in society. Netcare just basically began a whole new chapter for me. So yeah, I'll never forget it.
They need to be here, stay here. They really actually saved my life.
They saved my life.
There's no way I'm alive right now doing this interview if I don't have a place like this.
And I know that if I did have any type of trauma or needed someone to talk to, I know that I can call Netcare.
They will hold your hand. They'll do anything they need to do to help.
They really put their hearts into it.
And I'll always talk it up, and if I happen to be some big motivational speaker or something like that, Netcare get a lot of hype.